Had a good point recently. He said Tyson is like Frankenstein's monster. He thrives on energy of the crowd and the people. A bit like the old gladiators from the Roman theatres and stuff to the crowd. That's me. I come alive. And I sap it all up like a sponge. And it makes me feel like I want to be alive. I love this. I'm living on the edge of my seat. It's the only thing that I can do that gives me happiness, sadness, scared, nerves. And I said to the boys, like, in the changing room, I really, really love where I am. Like, this is my comfort zone. I'm like, what? Being 60,000 people screaming your name and you got to go fight one-on-one with somebody. I said, yes, that's where I thrive. That's my life. That's what I live for. But at 34, and my cousin Caesar said, you're only in your prime. I think he's right. I'm getting better with age, like a fine wine. But we'll see. We'll see. One fight at a time. And that's all we can do. One fight at a time.
Tyson, this is Kieran Wright from the Outback Press. My question is, you're talking about Usyk and you talk about Joe Joyce, etc. What's your opinion about Anthony Joshua and also maybe also fighting him?
Nieta. Zero. Not happening. I want to fight real challengers and real men who want to fight. Usyk come here tonight to do a fight, ringside, stood there, got in my face, he wants to fight. Of all the years, we live in the same country. Has anyone ever seen AJ do that to me? Get in my face at a fight and say, let's get it on like Donkey Kong?
We wasted 6 weeks on that.
And even Big Joe thought he was going to join the party, wouldn't he? Get up, Big Joe. He joined, gate crashed that party. He went, I want a piece of this. I said, right, let's just have a Royal Rumble then. I don't know, he just looks like a rabbit, doesn't he? He's got two eyes that are a bit far apart, facing opposite ways, and he's got a big gap in his teeth like a rabbit. So, without disrespecting him, he is a ugly little chavvy, isn't he? And he looks like a rabbit. So I think my dad nicknamed him the rabbit, and and I nicknamed myself the farmer, and farmer will skin the rabbit and put him in rabbit pie and eat him up for breakfast. And that's what we're going to do with him. See nothing apart from a ugly little man. And that's what I seen. But good looks don't win world titles, do they? Because if it was about good looks, then I'd never have won anything, because I'm fat as a pig, aren't I? Bald head, lanky, clumsy. Whatever people have called me over the years, 99% of it's all true, isn't it? But it's not looks that win fights. It's the inside of a man that wins a fight. Rocky Marciano wasn't a big man, but he's world heavyweight champion. Tommy Burns was 5'7", still world heavyweight champion, knocked out Jess Willard 6'6". So it's not about the size of the man, it's the fight, the size of the fight in the man. And we'll see.
What do you say when, like Frank said, people think you're unbeatable?
Listen, we're only blood and bone, and I'm only here through the grace of God, and I train hard and I dedicate myself to this game. I only started taking this game serious when I got to about 30. Before then, it was all fun and games. It was just like I was able to box people and beat them with natural ability, but now I've got Sugar Hill with me, and I've got my nutrition team and strength conditioning guys. I think we're moving on to the next level, and the 10 rounds that I got tonight were very, very valuable to me to take me into the next year for sure. We're going to see the biggest year of hopefully my career. 2023, we're going to get them big fights that the fans really crave. First of all, let's talk about Usyk, because now I can. Before, everyone wants to ask me a million questions about Usyk when I've got Chisora to beat. And as we see tonight, Chisora's no easy pushover for anybody. So yeah, I'm ready, I'm willing to take on Usyk next, whether it's going to be in Saudi Arabia or back here in the UK. It's both places will be fantastic. And let's give the fans one champion, one name, one face. Usyk's up for the challenge. He came over tonight, so fair play to him. He's not an easy boxer to figure out. He's a slick southpaw mover with very good skills, Olympic gold medalist, and he's coming on some good form, so I'm really looking forward to the challenge. But for whatever reason, like I say, a lot of big fights, and Bob's here, he's 125 years old, and he can tell you himself, sometimes the big fights sometimes don't happen for whatever reason. But I've got a good feeling this one's going to happen. But if it doesn't for X, Y or Z reasons, then we'll have Joe Joyce at Wembley next year as well. But providing the Usyk one does happen, then I'll do him and then I'll have Joe Joyce as well at Wembley. Why not? Get up.
You have talked about needed
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but from where I am now, I feel great. You know what I mean? I hope that I don't have anything to mess up anything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a massive 23 starting. I hear all this talk of big money in Saudi Arabia. I even spoke to Prince Khalid. He might even be here somewhere. I don't know where he is. Before he was on his way into Chisora's dressing room to see him, and I said, "Are you going to put this fight?" And he said, "What am I here for?" So if it's as good as his word, it looks like we're getting it on. And Frank and Bob have been telling me it might be the first quarter of next year, end of February, early March. Yeah, so let's do it. I'm willing. Usyk looks like he's willing. Bob, Frank, their peoples are willing. So let's get it on like Donkey Kong. But there is merit to this middleweight talk. When he was an amateur, when I was a super heavyweight, when I was about 17, 18, he was boxing at 75 kilos. And that's when he lost to Sean Porter as an amateur, 75 kilos. So it ain't just me saying, oh, he's a small man, he's a middleweight. There is merit to the middleweight talk. So he has boxed at middleweight as an amateur. I've never boxed at anything but super heavyweight. So I can actually say that. So yeah, there is talk of it. I think he's about... It's a toss-up between number 2 and number 3. Listen, you can never write off Deontay Wilder. So you can put 1, me, and then you can put the next 3 in a hat and pick them. Usyk, Joyce, Wilder. But I don't think there's anybody in the world that can take Deontay Wilder's power. No one. Usyk's a slick boxer, southpaw, and Joe Joyce is a juggernaut. And that's a fight I'd love to see. If I fight Usyk, then maybe Joe can fight Wilder. Who here wouldn't want to see that? We wouldn't want to see the world's toughest man take on the world's biggest puncher. That'd be fantastic.
Tyson, you spoke about how hard it was for you to walk away
Yeah.
when you had time at home. Obviously, you're friends with Derek. Would you like to see him hang his gloves up now for the long career he's had, and how hard will that be for him to do?
I know where Derek's coming from right now, and I can't speak for any other man. I can't make decisions for anybody. Derek will have to make his own decisions, and he's been in this game long enough. He's a veteran, and he will make the right decisions, best for him and his family. But for me, I'd love to see him retire, but still stay in the sport, because he's a legend of this game in British boxing. He's like a folk hero. People love him, and who wouldn't want to tune into Derek's fights? Always entertaining, always gives his all, and he's definitely a good fighting man, for sure. Been around so long.
Tyson, do you think that if you do fight Usyk, it will be for undisputed including the idea?
I'm not a boxing promoter, so I can't answer that question.
It will
But
be.
there is 2 promoters up here. Maybe they can answer that
Yeah,
question.
of course it'll be for the 4 belts. I mean, I know there's Hearn's telling everybody it won't, but that's not his decision. And the fact of the matter is, the rotation of these belts anyway, which is a fact, the next one up for a mandatory is the WBA. And the WBA have no problem in allowing a unification to take place for the good of boxing. Who wouldn't do that? So that's where we are. And then, and all the other talk is, it's the same old thing, like you won't sell tickets, no one watches it, no one, most of the stuff he said is a bit like, when he picks people in fights, it's always, they're always crap picks. He always gets it wrong.
Any more?